to the council thing, you gotta, we have to change our charter then.
Yeah, you'd have to alter the charter.
Yeah, I was very surprised that he felt strongly that we should go to a town
A
council.
lot of stuff, they'll still back out to the vote, we'll go in, it's like they're doing
Paul
Lisbon
Chase?
stuff.
Yeah, we
Everything
should
goes
go
up to
Yeah,
vote.
that we had gotten so big that we really needed, our issues were such that we really should go to a town council and
Has
do
he
away
been to a
with.
town meeting before?
I was going to say, the town meeting would have to decide that, and they would say no.
I can see Donna Church or.
Because he thinks that the town meeting is a waste of time in that, the selectmen and the budget committee have already gone through all the numbers and made decisions and made reasoned decisions, and then to turn it over to the townspeople is just a waste of time.
Yeah, I won't
But
be
the
on the
town-
board when we do that.
I'm not.
No, the townspeople wouldn't go for that, I don't think, because,
I think it
Not for a
is
good while.
important that people, we're just,
I mean, look how many people
If anything,
show,
There was an effort to try to participate, to get more people to participate.
look how many people show up to our meetings here. We didn't have the annual town meeting to get at least 150 people.
Town council government allows it to be a more reactive type environment.
Yeah, oh, it does do that.
So you guys get to start to discuss a decision, and they get to watch TV to see way it's going, and they run down here and get on their high horse about it. Where in a town meeting,
Unless we set town
But they
council
can do
rules
that
like
now.
Lisbon.
well,
Comments
it's a
before,
little bit different
then we
when
take
it
the
goes to
take.
town meeting.
we're not
No
live.
comments during.
Not yet.
No.
I don't know, actually.
No, Lisbon has put council rules.
We're not
You-
on yet, are we, Alden?
No,
We've got 6 minutes.
okay, that, the public can only comment ahead of time. And they can comment on what's on the agenda.
Public access that they've been going through down there with some property that they had gotten due to bad taxes, and that wound up all in council. And it was quite controversial.
It was very controversial.
Went on for quite a while. And they win.
Yeah, well, and the neighbors put a straw man up essentially to purchase it because they didn't want it to be public access, because, they didn't want the scruffy masses.
The neighbor took a lawyer to contact an heir to purchase it on the heir's behalf, figuring that the heir had standing.
Approach the, putting a marijuana building down here in the corner?
No, haven't heard nothing
Only to
yet.
find out
Somebody
that
said,
the
"Where do you
lawyer
guys
and
meet?"
the
I
heir
said,
had never met.
I
It
think
was
about
all
any
just
house
a
you wanna
paper.
go to.
I said, Mike, that's a good place to put your dispensary right there. He goes, what are you talking about? Well, across the one went through. I said, you town, tell me you wanna put a marijuana dispensary there.
And the lawyer wouldn't, at the meeting in open session, wouldn't say who he represented, and
Yeah, finally got around to it. He actually represented the neighbors and not the heir.
Like the one I spit on.
That's okay.
yeah,
You forget where I work.
On behalf of the purchase and sales agreement.
it was a mess. I know somebody that's on the rec department,
Interesting phone
or
call
rec,
before I came here tonight.
whatever, council, that wanted it to be public access.
I didn't get one.
Really?
I'm getting left
The
out.
one
It's
part.
it's becoming a
Should've
pretty
told him to call you.
significant class.
Shut up.
I don't think he would've got any more out of you than he got out of me.
As the property values increase.
Yeah.
And
I had that
really wealthy
interesting phone
people
call
don't want
tonight, yeah.
anybody else
Yeah.
in their backyard.
I don't know.
I'm getting left out here.
I don't know if he was,
Well, it seems like
thinking
the
he was
state
gonna get
Supreme
somewhere
Court
in
is
Ottawa.
going with
I was careful because
Yeah.
he could've been,
You know, it's
Recording.
been going that way
And
for
he's been
15,
calling her.
20 years now. And it just
He's been
keeps
calling
getting
around, he's
narrower
called
and narrower.
her,
Yeah.
Calvin,
At some
myself.
point, you're
Yeah.
not gonna be able to stay below
Didn't
the
get much on
9,000
me.
and off the beach end. That or drop the lobster trap.
This looks like a water like Lisbon's.
Exactly.
Right, at 5 in the morning, and what people are running, people are upset because they're confused about it.
Well, and they're fighting about it in
Right.
Freeport with the clammers.
I know.
Right.
You know, public resource is no longer.
You getting fired up for later on tonight? Are we
Awful.
gonna, you gonna get calmed down before you get up here tonight?
No, it's when I worked on, I used to work at Queen's Harbor.
I know, that's what I'm afraid of.
They came and did revaluations. One guy said that his house went up like 300%. And I don't know, I mean, I was only a kid, I was only listening to what the guy said, but they revalued the properties, and all the people that built the homes on the waterfront were getting pushed off the waterfront, and it's like, it's pretty bad when all the fishermen and the guys that used to just walk out their backyard and go fishing,
Well,
you know,
that's
and now
why
they have to
that-
haul their boat, you know?
That's why the tax the working waterfront tax exemption went in,
Yeah,
to protect those kinds of, much like the tree growth and
This
the
was,
farmland was to protect those kinds of, the true working
right.
fishing families that
This
have.
was
Then
21
the
years ago.
fishermen and the mobile homes on the shore side of the road, and the rich people in the, front homes are on the seaside of the home, you
Yeah.
see that situation going on. Now, there's enough of that, and the significant alteration that's going on in that environment is that most of those homes in ages past were summer homes. And the folks that come from away from the summer relied on the local community to support their infrastructure and maintain their spaces for them.
Yeah.
Now they're becoming permanent homes, and they don't want the poor guy across the street, the mobile home, they want them gone. So
Well, if you
we're-
look at Higgins Beach down in Scarborough, that used to just be little cottages, summer cottages, row after row after row of cottages, and people are buying them and bulldozing them, and they're all these just crazy houses, and they keep going up because the lots are really
Yeah,
small, and people are putting in these, $1.5 million houses, and you can reach out and touch your neighbor's house.
All right, where's the rest of it?
Change rules on expansion in the shoreline zone,
We don't need it.
so allows you to go up more,
That's-
but not out.
Yeah.
We're looking at something,
So
we're
you
looking
can
at
go down
the
another story now,
holiday
and you're not
stuff.
increasing the lot size.
I just wanted to give you a calendar in case you needed it.
That's crazy. Am I gonna be the only one department? And I'm not even a department. I'm a department, not a department head.
We got two of these, Ruth.
Ruth is the head of my department.
You got two?
Yeah, this one here, and then you just put one here tonight.
No,
Well, unless it's something different.
it's
right?
something different.
Look like the
That's
same.
different.
This one's different
Yeah.
than this one?
Did I not get that
Well,
one?
if I,
No, I gave
Oh,
it
no,
to
that
you.
ain't it. Sorry.
It was folded
That's different.
on your desk.
This one I've already seen though.
It's not a part of tonight's packet. I just gave it to you guys so you guys would know.
Yeah.
all set. Anytime, Alden. Thank you. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum this evening. All 5 selectmen are here. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amendments to the agenda? Anything other than what you've printed on here? No. Okay, public comment? Seeing none. Consent agenda.
Move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Action and discussion items. Discuss the website request for proposal.
Okay. Let's see if this works.
Since we're talking about website, yeah, hope so,
I
We wanted to keep it
I-
basic.
I really don't care for this one quite as much.
It's a little plain.
I can navigate this one quite well.
We didn't want to confuse anybody, so
Oh, something's happening. Okay. So, from the beginning. Come on, from the beginning. There we go. All right, so Shannon made this up for us. She unfortunately couldn't join us tonight, so I have to do the presenting for her. She has looked through all of the proposals, and we whittled it down to 2 proposals. There are 2 of the less expensive. She took everything that was above 10,000, and she took a quick look at it, but really kind of, So she took the 3 that were below, and she whittled it down to 2 specific companies: Virtual Towns and Schools and Civic Live. So, the difference. The Virtual Towns and Schools has a one-time implementation fee of $6,000. Free website design after 4 years service. Both of them have that. The Civic Life is, the one-time implementation fee is $9,300. I have examples, so we will look at Falmouth. Come on, you can do this. There we go. No, that's not Falmouth. Oh, that's Falmouth. Okay. So here's Falmouth. This is one of the ones that the virtual towns and schools did. You know, and it has this over here so that people can look up what they might want to have interest in. And of course, these would correspond to what we need. So we might not have something about curbside recycling. We might have curbside trash and pickup and everything. So we would make those look like they go with ours. And then when you go into the government, they have the different drop-down menus, so it's much easier to find your way around this website. And then this one is also one done by Virtual Towns and Schools. This is Kennebunkport, and the same type of idea. Ooh, okay, they have an actual, breaks it down like that. And the departments breaking it down. Wow, I hadn't looked at that before. I don't think we'll need to break it down quite that much since our departments and boards and committees are not as numerous as Kennebunkport. And then access here with the news, the calendar, so that they would have different calendar events, comments. I don't know if we would put that on just yet. And special topics. Then there's two here that are,
Yeah, we wouldn't want our site to become a soundboard, you know. I mean, I like the idea of the news being able to.
Right.
Yeah.
well, eventually I would, you know, it just always depends on what you guys decide, but I would like to see it so that they can do complaints over the internet. And I don't mean like.
I don't know that they should be on the front page.
No, but I don't mean but like
That
this.
wasn't being
Right,
published.
that was
Yeah, I
just a
got
that.
contact.
Okay, I got
So
it.
like they can
Submits them, yeah.
come
Gotcha.
here and they can submit a, you know,
And it would go to like a mailbox.
yeah, and it would go to either me or Calvin or
Yeah.
whoever would be responsible for it. So if you have a highway issue,
Or if people have an inquiry about something.
right, they could automatically get it to the right person. Civic Live did Orono, Maine, and they have the same type of drop-down services, business. I like this how do I, but we can, you know, we can put that probably on either of the websites.
Yeah, they had it on the other, on Falmouth.
They did, okay. And then Civic Life also did Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department, which is licenses and the fishing, and basically just really easy to plug things in and get around. So now we're going to scooch that down. So those are the examples that we have. So then after the initial setup, there's an annual cost of Virtual Town and Schools of $1,750 per year, and that includes the hosting, user support, maintenance, and upgrades. It's include both. The Civic Life, the annual cost for the first year, they don't charge you anything, and for the next 3 years, it's $1,600.
So Virtual Town and Schools, that 1,750 would be on top of the 6,300 for the first
Right.
year?
Well, the 6,000 for the first year. The 6,000.
Or, okay, well, it was 6,000, okay, yeah,
The
but,
6,000 was for the initial setup of the website. The 1,750 is for the hosting, and that you would owe when it goes live, and then that would go for a year. So every year after that, you would pay the
On that date, you
1,750.
will-
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What are we currently paying for hosting? Do we know?
I don't know offhand. It's not that much, though. I know that for sure. So then Shannon called both of the companies to ask them for specific additional things that we might want to do. And one of them was redesign the fire department, which I kind of thought was included in this, but the additional design of the fire department would be $1,500, and the redesign and inclusion of fire department over Civic Life would be $2,000. And then she also asked about video streaming. Currently, we pay, this I do know, we pay $3,688 per year for our video streaming. So if we went with the virtual towns and schools, they have a very nice way of streaming videos, and it's $3,000 per year. And they have unlimited storage for 5 years too, which is nice. Civic Life was a little less forthcoming as to exactly how they would do video streaming, linking to YouTube or Vimeo.
So, yeah, I mean, that's just a link. That's
Right.
just a link. They're not actually doing the streaming. They're saying, oh, use one of these streaming
Right.
services and we'll put a link on it.
Right. So this is the breakdown, basically. So the virtual schools and towns, with the implementation fee, the annual cost of hosting for the first year, the annual cost of hosting for the following 3 years, plus the fire department. So over the next 4 years, and most of this would be up front, is the $14,500. So if you do the Civic Life, and the reason I'm not touching the video streaming is because that's separated out. So in other words, we pay that anyways per year, so that's not an additional cost necessarily. Civic Life with the implementation and the annual cost for hosting in the fire department, that's $16,100. So Civic Life is a little more expensive. Shannon suggested that we go with the virtual school in towns. She got a much better response from them when she called them. It took Civic Life a long time for her to get back to her. And when she called virtual schools in town, she actually talked to the gentleman who owned the company, and he helped her, and she was very impressed by that. Not to say that, at least it's less expensive than the Civic Live.
I think that, you know, everything else is comparable. I think that the video streaming and archiving is what makes them a lot more attractive because, you know, the fact that they're actually streaming the video, you have more control over it that way. The fact that you can archive unlimited amounts of video, that's huge. And for 5 years, I mean, so you could theoretically, you know, right now, if you go to our website, you can only go back so far. I mean, you'd be able to go back 5 years to find town meetings or you know, things that have been recorded. That's,
Do we know if it's compatible with our current equipment? The electronic stuff is, I know she had some concern on, because the site we have right now is basically completely compatible with electronics. It's basically, it's almost instant, it does it automatically, but I know we've had some
My knowledge of
issues.
computers isn't that great. She didn't say she had any concerns about it. The video streaming and archive works, she said, a lot like Earth Channel video streaming, and you would also be able to stream the meetings live on the internet as well as watching them afterwards.
I think the only concern would be the actual file format of the video, and I think she could probably do.
Yeah, I just, well, the issue was if she had to do any conversions, it takes more time.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure.
Didn't we
on the-
just buy all new video equipment, or wasn't that as part of the telecommunications budget, was upgrading some of the video equipment?
3 or 4 years ago, we went with the electronic system. I don't know if you have the opportunity, maybe while we do more, but to look for invoices from TH Creations, because that will tell us how much we're paying for,
Yes, yeah, I can do that.
'cause-
It's easy enough.
so that we can, you know, is the annual hosting cost comparable or not?
I think we pay about half of what they're
Okay.
asking, I believe, but I will check.
I like the fact that after 4 years, you do get a free redesign on it as well, on both of these as well, then. Because things change over 4 years. People's idea of what's a good website changes over 4 years.
Yep. So, so you want me to look that up and then we'll come back to this?
Yeah, just so I have an idea.
Okay.
And are you and she looking for a decision tonight, or?
We'd like one pretty soon, so we can get going on it, but I
So-
suppose,
So we can absorb some of the costs this
but,
year,
you know, I
too.
suspect that, well, we can absorb, but the next meeting is the 29th of November, so I can't imagine we would do much in the next 2 weeks, especially considering next week is Thanksgiving. So if you wanted to wait for 2 weeks to think about it a little bit, I don't think that would be an issue.
And if we could get
And
a
if-
solid answer, I mean, she knows more about the video stuff than I do, so if we
And
get a solid answer.
If
about
she's
the-
able to be here then too, that will, in case we do have questions.
Okay.
Are those the only?
This would be paid for out of the franchise fees?
Yes. Those the only two examples, or were there other examples that you could just like send in an email?
I can either do that, or you guys are welcome to take a look through the books that they sent us.
If you want to just, I mean,
I
maybe
could probably send you a couple more.
send some link, because I know like on the virtual school in towns, they were actually very similar.
Based on their
Style.
format, I would say they do a lot of towns in Maine.
Yeah, they do.
See that format a fair amount.
Yeah, and the other reason she liked these two particular companies is they do a lot of municipal work, and a lot of their stuff is about security and that kind of thing, so.
And are they local Maine companies?
Virtual cities and towns, I believe, started in Maine, and they have moved to Massachusetts, but they still have an address in Maine, I think. Civic Life is from not Maine.
I mean, it doesn't matter, I was just curious.
No,
She said she
California.
spoke with you, and I wondered if they were.
Yeah, this is, I believe they're local, or at least on the on the East Coast. They're on the West Coast. Civic Life is. Okay, I'll look that
Thank
up
you.
while you guys.
Yeah. Be recognition for Joe Donovich. What was it, next meeting that you thought he'd be able to be here or something, or was it?
We can invite him for next meeting.
Okay, because you had mentioned something that he had, one of these Tuesdays he had.
Oh, yes, yes.
So, okay, so, Joe Donovic is resigning or retiring from the Historic District Commission, yes, thank you. He was basically, I believe, a founding member of that board, and it was suggested that we do something in recognition of that. I believe he's 8 or 9 years, 10 years,
2007,
So-
January
so-
2007.
so close to 10 years.
Coming up on 10 years.
So,
And actually, the only reason there's any historical records from the board at all is because he's kept all of the historical records from every meeting that they've had, which he turned over to the chairperson of the board. So that we have some historical record of our historical district.
I'd like to make a motion that we recognize Joe Donovic for his service to the Historic District Commission, and that we invite him to our next meeting.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Office hours for holidays.
Okay. So obviously, we're closed the 24th and the 25th, which is the Thanksgiving holiday. This year, Christmas falls on a Sunday, and we would ask that we also receive the 26th off in lieu of Christmas.
So you'd be getting 23rd and 26th is what you're, is
No,
what?
actually, I was just thinking
No,
the
just the
26th.
Said instead of
26th.
the 23rd.
I'm sorry, because you get 2 days at Christmas. You get the day before.
No, not always. I mean, it's. you
No,
always
it says
get
when
one.
Christmas falls on a Tuesday through a Saturday, the
Okay,
town will be closed the preceding day as well.
okay, I see what that, okay, I understand, yeah. Okay, so you're asking for
We'd
the
be-
26th, yeah.
Right, we'd be closed on the 26th for the
Okay.
Christmas holiday.
And,
And then the 30th, we want to close at noon so that we can do our books, close our books.
okay,
And then we ask for the January 2nd off.
It's not on here, we can't do it, sorry.
Yep. I'll get to December. I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, we're all done with December.
I move that we accept the holiday scheduling as proposed.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Animal control job description.
Oh, that's good too. So in going over a bunch of reviews, I came upon a couple things that I wanted to perhaps change in the animal control officer. I don't know whether you'd agree, but for the pay range, I was just gonna go with a stipend instead of the stipend plus mileage, which some other towns do simply because you have to keep track of the mileage and put it in and get paid for it.
What has he been put in for total mileage?
He hasn't.
Okay.
So, and then the other thing was to submit quarterly reports and attend select board meetings as required, so that, I wasn't sure how often you guys might want to see him, but, you know, you might want to see him every 6 months or so. So rather than put a specific amount of time in there, just, you know, have you
These-
guys, be able
These highlighted are added.
to- those are added to his job description, yes, those are what I want to add.
So he's not even submitting mileage right now?
No, I haven't received anything in mileage since last year.
Oh, I see. So, but we did tell him to submit mileage, yeah?
Yeah, he,
So is it concerned, maybe he's gonna bring it all at once and it's
well,
gonna be like,
we have a policy on mileage,
yeah.
so I believe that is supposed to be I believe we had a policy that is supposed to be,
Okay.
I believe, I'm pretty sure we vote, I don't know if it ever went into the policy book, but we voted on that
You recall we discussed it.
several years, 2, 3, 4 years ago or something, that it was supposed to be monthly.
Yes.
Yes, yes, I do remember
We
that.
told him he was high about the mileage.
Yeah.
Lead the horse to
So,
water, he can
it's-
drink it.
Right.
I didn't know I was supposed to submit my mileage monthly.
You haven't been doing it either?
No, he
I've been
doesn't.
doing it every 6 months.
Slacker. We'll bring that
If you want it monthly, I can do it monthly. It's
weekly.
not difficult, right?
Yeah, no,
Daily.
I mean, yeah, I think monthly is it just helps kind of keep track of it a little bit, keep track of it over the year a little bit better and stuff
But
like that.
mine was allocated anyway on the budget. I mean,
Right.
We sort of predetermined it, we've been hitting the mark, but,
Yeah.
okay. You'll see it by, on Thursday's submission, thank you.
There may be some legality too. I just got a lecture on that today about mileage and submitting mileage when I do it. I don't know, but is there anything do we need to be concerned that we are actually paying his mileage? He may not want us.
What did his job description say before we change this? I mean, did we have it in the job description that we were gonna pay
It
mileage?
said stipend plus mileage.
So, and is he aware that we might be taking away his mileage here? I mean,
Well,
he agreed to take the
that's-
job plus, and if he's not,
I mean, that's what, I would agree to the changes here. The changes to the pay range, I think I would actually like to put off until after town meeting so that we can determine, maybe we add some into the stipend to account for the mileage or whatever we do, but not make the change until we've approved a budget on that.
My intention was that you would take the money from the mileage and put it into the stipend,
But-
because it just,
But, yeah, maybe we could, if we do a motion on that, make the pay range change effective following town meeting or something like that, or effective January 1st, but something like that, so
Right.
it goes on to next year.
yes, yeah.
I mean, but if he ain't cashed in on it, we're not really losing anything anyways, we leave it in there.
Right, but I, like I say, I worry about the legality of it. You know, we may find ourselves in trouble for not paying that out.
No, it's perfectly fine to, you allow for mileage. If they don't turn in mileage, and that's why you have a policy too. And we need to look and make sure that it's actually there, we approved it, but you have the policy so that you can say, well, we have this policy, you submitted this 3 years after you did the miles,
Right.
things like that. And most of the stuff for the IRS actually falls on the employee. that they have to back up, that they had the miles and that the accounting for it, and if you're paid over the IRS rate, you have to claim it. And
You making a motion?
okay, so let's see I'll make a motion that we add the suggested changes into the animal control officer job description, with the stipulation that the pay range going to stipend is effective as of January 1st, 2017.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Code enforcement.
Can I shut this thing off?
Yes, please do. I'm just not tall enough to do it.
One more time.
Just in case you bump it by mistake.
No, that's pretty standard. They always make you do it again. That's probably it, yeah. Make sure you're sure.
So I didn't get any feedback from you guys on regard to the plans for kind of reconfiguring the town offices. So I'm not really sure, compared to what I gave you, which way to go. So if you all get a minute to think about that a little bit and get back to me about what it is you'd like me to, how it is you'd like me to move forward with some of that, that would be helpful. All right,
Next.
next. The citizen survey went out with the comprehensive plan committee at the election. Everybody's pretty excited. We're getting some decent feedback. They met with Nicole Briand, who's the town planner for Bodenham, to kind of help them focus on what's the next step. They also met with is it Craig Friendly? Is that his name?
I think so.
Anyways, a meeting facilitator that they would like to bring on board for a couple of things. Essentially what we're looking at right now is a pretty limited budget that was set aside for this year, and not really having an opportunity to do much financially until after town meeting, depending on what's allocated for funds for them to work with. The situation is this: to start to set up a timeline plan for how to approach going about this process that's likely to take another couple of years. The initial part of the work coming forward is going to be developing a vision statement. Once the vision statement is developed, and they'd like to bring Craig in for helping that, as I understand it. Now, Kevin Nadeau, of course, will be the one who'll give you the final say on this, and he's the chair. The time's moving kind of quickly here, so we're trying to organize this a little bit. Once the vision statement has been written by the board, they'd like to bring it forward to you guys, to have you guys go through it and look at it and approve it. At that point, then they will spend most of the springtime developing the necessary tools to start doing outreach for when the town meeting comes forward and the money's available. So they hit the ground running as soon as the budget's been passed with whatever it is that's been passed. And it seems like a pretty doable thing. John Simino and I are going to get together and work with a flowchart program, Microsoft project, to sort of develop the early part of how that system's going to lay out, and we'll have that available for you guys too to see as soon as we have got that going. So that's kind of where that one's coming. The planning board's doing pretty well with the ordinance this year. We're kind of wrapping that up now. We had a meeting last night. We'll have another one. We'll have a little more discussion about it at the meeting for the first Wednesday in December. Get that ready for spring. There's been a lot of talk about legalization of marijuana and how it's going to affect the towns. It's a little uncertain at this point. There's quite a few towns, including New Gloucester, are coming together to do a special town meeting to put a moratorium on anything happening, which the law has allowed them to do. And, you know, I've kind of been looking through the process. It's a little bit difficult for me to see how this is going to impact Durham. It's gonna take the legislature quite a while in rulemaking to sort of lay out the formwork for what's gonna be necessary for licensing for like, like smoking establishments and that sort of types of businesses that are gonna be suddenly legal. They will have to be licensed, they're gonna have to have some structure to do that. And our ordinance requires that all of the sort of state part or other outside licensing and so on be in place in order to get a permit from the town to do business. So there's some mechanism for managing the early phase of this, so no one can kind of run in under the radar and get a bunch of stuff going. It'll also give the opportunity between now and town meeting to develop some idea, hopefully with your guys' input, on what to present to the town in regards to how they want to handle the law and how they want to handle how it'll affect town. So you guys are going to have to start thinking pretty significantly in regard to that.
So in regards to the moratorium and so on, you don't see that there's any chance or likelihood that somebody may try to start a permitting process here beforehand, which then could go back and try to claim, well, we started it before you put in a moratorium or something like that.
Permitting process such as it's going, A, I think there's going to be a recount, and B, the permitting process doesn't even exist yet.
No,
The state hasn't
no,
created it
town
yet.
permitting, like a,
But if our town
Conditional
permitting
use
already,
conditional use permit.
but if our town permitting already requires that all the appropriate state licenses be in place, I think that we don't, I think this is gonna be a slow rollout on the state level, and I'm not sure we have to rush to put a moratorium in place.
Well, I'm asking this because I had a meeting last week with the Freeport and panel chairs, and the Freeport admin was there as well, and our town manager, and they were suggesting that we look into a moratorium so that we don't get blindsided by somebody slipping something in early that they can then put, before there's any laws in place or rules in place, that they can then point back to, see, we started this then, and they didn't put the moratorium in here, so we should be grandfathered. So I'm just asking that. That's why I'm asking the question whether.
I don't know, I mean, there's nobody in this town that wants to smoke marijuana that's not already, so I don't,
It's not about folks smoking, it's about people
Making
opening up
profit off it.
businesses.
Setting up
That's- they-
businesses,
they-
yeah.
You know, and my office has had inquiries about opening up head shops and starting, like a
Right.
pot bar,
Right, right.
bring your own bone bar,
Right,
it's a
right.
BYOB, so.
And
The circumstances coming, the situation as it stands, and there may be some opportunity as you speak that someone could try to bring forward application for conditional use that would be denied by the planning board and then likely challenge that. So it's important that the planning board in their conclusionary statements in regards to the law and their findings support their denial of the permit in the proper way. And we have a pretty savvy planning board that I think could probably put something together there that would hold up. If you're concerned about it other than that, then the only choice would be to do a special town meeting.
right, and I
And
mean,
it's expensive, and
it-
it's time consuming, and it's likely to be a waste of time and money. So I'm not
And it could be
really.
potentially contentious. There may be people that say they don't want a moratorium.
And it may be, and so that, the important part for me in bringing this to you guys is that somebody has to bring something to the town in regards to this. Someone has to develop some sense of that part and how it's gonna happen. We're all kinda out in left field on this, not really knowing. This is a brand-new ballgame for everybody here in town. All the boards and everybody else, so it would be nice if the guys, if some of you guys would come, exchange in each other's meetings about what you feel is necessary, why you feel it's necessary, and how to approach what's in the best interest of the public until the public stands up and says differently about what it is that they want to do. So I'm not sure how else to direct you, but I think the knee-jerk, really fast reaction thing is likely to not be necessary. Can I promise you that you won't get caught in a legal cul-de-sac? I can't. I don't know.
Right, and one of the, I mean, the other thing is, the other reason why I'm asking this is, with all the other, with a lot of the other towns around us doing this, does that make us a target for somebody trying to, because they get in and they get denied a permit, and the denial may be because the state permitting process isn't in place or something like that. Would they be able to come back in and say, okay, now it's in place, I want to continue on with it, or, you know, it's one of those things, I guess, because it's.
Denial's a denial. They have to challenge the validity of the denial through the Board of Appeals and Superior Court system.
So they would have to
They can't come back and say, now you're okay, so my previous application is
You'd
now
have to
valid.
redo it.
Right, they'd have to start over under the current guidelines. So, you know, in my understanding of it is gonna all be based on the way the denial is structured.
Okay.
Okay, and part of the issue that comes to play in this, and this is why I brought it forward, is for the majority of conditional use permits that come before the planning board that need state licensing, the permits are issued condition upon receiving the state licensing. If you're going to deny someone a conditional use permit based on state licensing, you have to be very careful how you craft that so that it will stand up. All right, it can't just be based on, well, you know, just, you haven't got your state license, because you've already set legal precedent in the way that you've behaved in the past due to conditional use application. So it has to be based more on just that you haven't got state licensing yet. It has to be based on, until we understand the structure of the state licensing process and what's involved in getting, on your side and our side as a municipality within that licensing system, we don't know how to apply the conditions of use to what it is that you're doing, therefore we can't approve it. That's a really different statement than denial on the fact that you don't have a license. And that likely would stand up, but it has to be crafted properly. And, you know, when you get to Superior Court, you might get a dentist for heart surgery. You have no idea what you're up against. Okay, so I don't know, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm not sure it's necessary to do a town meeting, but that's not my decision.
Right.
So this is why I wanted this to come to you guys.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm just asking these because I don't want us to get caught in something before we have a chance to look at this and find out what the town really wants.
You have to ask the
Yeah.
question. I mean, you're asking the right questions. What's the risk in this? You know, is there a risk in it, and what is the risk in it? Is there any chance of somebody coming around the back door and suddenly getting in when the town said they want a moratorium, and like you said, you know, they find some way to sneak through legally, and here we are. So, you know, it's a conversation that needs to be had, and a plan of moving forward.
And for us, the moratorium would require a town meeting. It's not
Correct.
something
Under
the
state law, it
selectmen
would
can do.
require a town
Even
meeting.
even a short term, you know, if we
It's a
just had
6-month moratorium, or until you get to town meeting with a 6-month extension, depending on when your meeting periods are. The moratorium as a statewide standard, as a townwide standard, is allowable under the law, but would have to be enacted as a permanent measure by town meeting. So it's sort of like fees. You guys can adopt fees, but they have to be voted on at the next meeting.
Right, so we could do something in the short term, essentially, that would stand for a year, 6 months before, 6 months after, while we figure out what the state is gonna do, and then craft whatever our plan is.
That's not even getting into the personnel issues that's gonna cause.
Yeah, and this is
Employers are
it.
free to, having read the proposal, and certainly the referendum question is not exactly how it will be enacted as a statute. It very rarely is on referendum
It has to go
questions,
through
but-
rulemaking, and the
Right,
Department of
and-
Ag's got a bunch of work to do on that, too.
But it did reserve the right of employers to, much like, somebody can't drink on the job or what have you, so it did
Marijuana stays in your
create,
system for 30 days, is the problem.
did create the same.
So, just something else for you guys to think about while you're,
Doing nothing else to think
fishing with
about.
the kids or hunting.
What's the feeling as far, do we wait until town meeting and try to do something there when we have a better idea? Or do we think we want to look at this again in 2 weeks and decide whether we need a special town meeting, or how do we want to?
I'd wait till the town meeting, then nothing's gonna happen between now and then anyways.
Yeah, I'd like to wait till town meeting. I don't feel as though we're gonna be in jeopardy, but, you know.
Would this be a question for Jack?
It probably would be, yeah.
And I would also recommend getting a hold of Paul First, who's the town manager for New Gloucester, as they're intending to do a special town meeting, and some of the other folks who are, and some of the other folks who aren't, and just try to get a sense about why they think it's necessary or not. I mean, a little broader opinion on this certainly can't hurt.
So,
So should we put forward to Jack what he thinks we ought to do?
I think that would be a good, a good thing just to see what his thoughts are on it. And I know it costs a little bit to do it, but hopefully it would be not much more than an hour.
Well, I just want to make sure that I'm understanding at least the statute as you represented it, because I'm not terribly well versed in municipal law, but that we could do a short-term moratorium. We could say nothing happens at least until town meeting, and then we could let the townspeople have their say
The
without
select board
having
doesn't
to
have the
incur
right
the
to do that.
expense.
No.
It has
It's-
to be
it's
town meeting.
more-
The town meeting the proposal at special town meeting can be temporary moratorium.
Right.
Or
I thought you
permanent
said
moratorium.
6 months, like fees, you could put it in place.
They have,
And then it
as
couldn't
I
become
understand it, they've
permanent
allowed a
until-
temporary statute to stand for 6 months with the opportunity to reenact it. So if a town wants to just put everything on hold, they can do it temporary without actually enacting a legal moratorium. They can
Right,
just
that's
say-
what I was.
Well, so we
Yeah,
can do
Our
that here
town
right now,
meeting is
yeah?
well
No,
within
it-
6
it's-
months.
It has to be done at town meeting. It can't be done by the board.
It's actually an ordinance, and the only ordinances that the board has control over are basically ones that deal with
Right, so it's
roads.
not like fees, because we can adjust fees and then they become.
No, and I'm
permanent.
sorry, I didn't mean it quite that way, but it's in regard to, the moratorium would be like fees. It would either be struck down or maintained at town meeting, but a special town meeting has to be the only way. As I understand it, a moratorium can only be imposed by special town meeting or regular town meeting. It has to be by the legislative board, the legislative body, which is,
Thank you, that's what.
Yeah, I get the opinion, because,
Get back to us next meeting.
yeah,
I
because
do
they're at least
have-
having a recount, I believe.
Yeah.
There's a fairly extensive
That'll buy us a little
article
time.
in
Yeah.
I don't think it will change.
MMA,
but-
and actually one of the people who's quoted in it is Gary Wood. So maybe it would be worth. I'll show you and I'll send you guys.
I would expect Gary to hesitate giving any more
Well,
than
there's
a
a-
personal opinion on it in regards to recognizing how to guide the town. And
Well, he wrote an article in the Maine Municipal
Townsman?
Townsman, yeah, called municipalities may give ordinances a retroactive effect. So I'll send you guys that and,
So Ruth, you're gonna contact Jack Conway?
I will.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, so in that case, we wouldn't even have to worry if somebody snuck in, because we could say, no, it was retroactive.
Well, it's only retroactive in certain instances, so I will send you guys.
And I will be
Articles.
talking to Gary on Tuesday night.
Okay.
So I can, if I have an opportunity, I can ask him.
Well, find all the answers, so I know what I gotta do to get my dispensary going.
Okay,
Next.
next.
No sneaking.
The Historic District Commission we're meeting Thursday night to kind of solidify inventory processes they've been doing on historical structures in town. Durham's really interesting architecturally and historically. There's almost no construction went on in Durham, no house construction went on in Durham from approximately 1860 to 1940. It's a really
It's either really
unique
interesting or really boring.
No, well, historically, it's incredibly interesting because what happened in town in that time period? Why did towns stop building homes? What
Code
happened?
enforcement officer.
What's that?
Code enforcement
What the guy And it was all about the mill towns. the entire towns, everybody went that way, and everything here just pretty much stopped.
Right, the railroad missed, the,
Farms.
everything.
Everything
farms.
missed, and everybody pretty much left town, and it just stayed put. So when you look around town at housing, you can look at architecture and see the timeline fabric of what has happened in a town, and it's a really interesting thing to look at. You go through a town like this, when you have Auburn and Lewiston and Brunswick and Topsom and Lisbon all having a huge amount of balloon frame type structures that were built during that build-up time period. Those structures would have come in the 1860, 1870 to 1920 and 30 range. And that's when those towns exploded. And what happened to all the satellite towns is everything just stopped. And the chief knows about this because of the risk of fire in these different types of structures. He knows that there's a significant amount of houses in town that are nowhere near at fire risk because of the type of construction, which is those early timber frames. They don't burn the same. So there's a very different threat threshold in that type of a house fire than if you get into one of these balloon frame structures.
They used to put fire stops in them, so that helped
Yeah.
slow that down.
Well, they were supposed to.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, it went from that to a balloon.
The codes that are coming through, the adoption of the 2015 code cycle, hoping it's gonna happen before the 1st of January. It might be shortly after as far as the MUBEC codes. The plumbing code has already been enacted. We went through some training processes on the new codes. There's actually, we did a training and got a couple of publications from the International Code Council in what are the essentials of the code, and it's about a 3/4 inch thick volume that really is laid out very well for builders. And I contacted many of the builders that are working in town, and most of them have purchased either singles or multiple copies of the book to have on their job sites, so when somebody like me shows up, they've got the book there that they've been building from that helps them understand what we're looking for and how to put it together properly, and I think that that's pretty encouraging. That's been really cool. The Board of Appeals meets next week on the Babcock Allen case, as well as on a variance for, setback variance for Durham Leisure Campground. The building stuff is winding down, the committee stuff is winding up. Good to see you guys again. It's been a while.
What's the
Come to these meetings more often.
date of the Board of Appeals?
Tuesday,
Next Tuesday?
next Tuesday,
7, I mean?
7.
Geez, I'm on vacation that day, but.
We have to talk about it. You gotta do something different with your vacation time, my friend.
Yeah, I need to get more.
That makes 2 of us. Thanks.
Nope.
Thank you.
Go ahead,
Go ahead.
I wanna see your mileage one here a little bit quicker.
You want it to say, I'll go get it right
Daily.
now. Daily. Daily, you heard him.
By the mile, every mile you drive, call it
Running
in.
for mayor.
Daily
Submit
check
it
for
daily.
$3.
So you were right, it is in the policy.
Okay. Is it 30 days or?
It's every month,
Okay.
and everything must be submitted by the last warrant of the year.
Well, that part I had in line, but the month thing I was not aware of.
I was not aware of it either, so we've just both learned
All
something.
right, thank you.
Chief?
The paving and the striping at the station are complete. KB Masonry still owes us a grate for over there. I talked to him today. He's supposed to be bringing it down this week to put in. I have the check until we get the grate cover put in place and stuff. I contacted Crooker for doing the filling around the edges, because actually some of those edges, I don't know if any of you have talked
Oh, yeah, I was
about.
gonna mention that to you tonight. Is Crooker gonna do it, or?
Well, I have a price quote from Crooker. I asked them to give me a price quote to do it, because that's who we had, the town had do on the side of the road. And first they came out and they said, well, they'd wait till spring, but then when they got looking at it, they said, no, we should give you a price quote. And I have a price quote now of $3,200 is what they gave me for a price
Why
quote.
can't we do that, Gal?
I have no idea how that.
Right behind where they park, the edge of the hot top, just throw in a couple loads and tobacco and get it so. I know, that's.
I mean, that's a couple hours worth of
Yeah.
You can bring a one ton over there and just back up that pavement with some.
Reclaim is all I can do.
As long as it's done right, I don't care.
Just
who
plowing
does it.
and actually those guys parking too, they can step off.
Yeah, I don't wanna lose the paving, so.
Yeah, no, we should do that.
And it's quite a drop off, I don't know if you've stopped.
It's 6
before.
inches, it's about 6 inches.
You go back by the modular, yeah,
South
that- the driveway, that corner, they built that up after quite a bit. They got everything pitched pretty well, so
That's just,
that and where I park my truck, there's another pretty good drop off right there. A lot of the rest of it's just an inch, maybe 2 inches, but those two areas, quite a drop off. I definitely gonna lose paving if you
just
don't
put
do
ditching
something.
material there, you wanna grow grass right up to your pavement. Yeah. Typically.
Right, well, what I talked to them about, what they quote actually to do is to do 2.5 feet. I actually think I have an extra copy you can have. To do 2.5 feet on average, all the way around, and taper it off, even on the lawn areas, so that we have that reclaim holding the paving, even on the lawn areas. I can't hold the lawn close to the parking area
Yeah.
anyhow.
Grass
And
is
then
gonna look very.
After the fact, I figured I'd put loom on top of it. This is the price quote you gave me.
Typically, you wanna bring grass, the supports on the bottom, and you put a reclaim underneath, so.
Right, well, that's actually what they talked about, was
Absolutely.
tapering the reclaim away from the paving, except for like the roadway going up to the modular. He talked about tapering that so it wasn't just a drop off, but to actually tapered into the driveway. The rest of it, he talked about like 2.5 feet, tapering it out, whatever it needed. Some areas, I'm sure where it's like a 6-inch drop off, and it'd have to taper more than
No,
2.5 feet.
that all sounds good, that's something we can do, I just, I don't
Yeah.
wanna, just, I mean, we got public works, I mean, you go to them, so you go to
do
Kirkland.
that in 2-3 hours easy enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Fine by me, if you can get it done.
Yep.
Definitely less expensive. I went to them because that's who we've had do the roads.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, no, take care of it.
I will put you on the spot though, when are we gonna get it done?
Gotta stay on him about that.
Ken's back, I think, isn't he? Ken and I could go do it. I don't know, we'll get it done,
Before Thanksgiving.
we'll get it done, by the middle of next week.
Okay.
Which is
For
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, okay, well, that resolves that one. The concrete, that's been poured. I think I talked a little about it last time around. And it appears like all this time, it's actually been the old floor drain, just wasn't capped properly. It was what was causing moisture to get between the levelastic and the old concrete. Now we got a good slab poured over it. Another couple of weeks, I can get somebody in there to do the flooring, so hopefully by the middle of December, that project will be completed. Rabbit Road, I haven't made it down to the Rabbit Road hydrant. I don't know if Calvin's been down there yet or not. I haven't even driven by to see, but I gotta get that raised up. He was gonna do that the middle of next week.
Are you waiting for me? I'm waiting for you.
No, I wasn't waiting for you. I know you were waiting on me. Let's see. Engine 22, I sent the updated requests out to the vendors that had submitted last year. Those of requests have gone back out to them. For just an updated price, quote, not updated specs, just updated prices. Let's see. Fire inspector certification. I got my fire inspector certification squared around through NFPA, so that certificate's been turned into the town, so that one is good to go.
What's a pro board?
Pro board accreditation is, it actually takes it's based on testing for different things like that, and what it does is it reviews the test process, and when you have pro board accreditation or IFSAC accreditation to a testing process, it tends to make it so it's more of a national certification than just a state or a local certification or a vendor certification. So with pro board accreditation, that says it's not just NFPA approved, it's NFPA certified, but it's nationally accepted. I don't know, I can tell you on firefighter. On firefighter, Maine's firefighter 1 and 2 is pro board accredited, which means it's good in about 42, 43 of the other states with just a little tweak. So they get certified here, and they go somewhere else, they're still certified. Let's see, engine 22. That wouldn't take a sticker, so I guess we did some temporary repairs last year to get by in hopes that we'd be replacing it, but I gotta get a sticker on it because I gotta have it on the road, so.
Looks like general maintenance, brakes and exhaust.
Yeah, it's stuff that any vehicle over a period of time.
Right.
So, yep. Generator at the station, that's been serviced. Septic tank at the station, I had that pumped during the paving process, so that's done. Truck 24 is not on your list, but truck 24, I actually talked to them today. And they gave me a tentative date for that to go in to have the wiring harness done of the 28th through the 30th, somewhere in there.
It's a ladder truck, right?
What's that?
It's a ladder truck, right?
Yeah, yeah. Handbook, I've been talking about that, and I didn't think to put it on my list, but this is actually a copy of the handbook. I'm assuming you'd like to keep one here at the town office, but this is the employee handbook that we've been working on putting together, and we finally started distribution at last month's meeting, so probably about 2/3 of the membership have gotten their updated, printed copy of the handbook. So, for the town office.
Thank you.
How many firefighters do you have? 40?
No, we have 40 members.
40 members.
We don't have 40 firefighters. We probably have somewhere right around 22, somewhere in that general vicinity, 22, maybe 25, on paper. Safety Works, the last thing, it's not on your list either. Safety Works just, I think I reported once before, but our shape inspection is November 28th, so. Next couple of weeks are gonna continue to be just as busy as the past month and a half have. So. And that was all I had for the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thanks.
We're gonna look at that shape thing for the town garage eventually. Is that part of the plan? I'll ask them.
That's not mine.
Yeah, look anyway. Want that back, or you want me to have that, or you want me to
Yeah.
I'll just keep mine. So we got the ongoing ditching and erosion control work by the Public Works crew, rabbit run around, and Pond Road. Had to pull the crew off all the road work to work on trucks, get them ready for stickers and winter readiness for snow plowing. So they'll be off the road indefinitely until we get things in shape there. Painted the stop ahead signs on with the stencils on Runaround and Rabbit Road. We got the bill for those stencils a couple of days ago. That was I would have thought they would have been a lot cheaper than that, but they were $500. I thought he had given me a lower number than that, but so I guess we'll have to rent them out. We'll use them every year. But
Yeah, it looks good there, though. That should really help there, I would think.
yeah, we'll do some others once we get any intersection with Route 136, 9, or 125. We'll do them all, but we had to pull off and get working on trucks for now. So I finished grading all the roads in Durham, gravel. We got our first salt delivery. Got that in and pushed up. Should have had the bill submitted in the first round tonight. I spoke with DOT about the catch basin on 136. I don't know if you're familiar with where that is, but down by the S-curves, there's a catch basin that's supposed to collect water. The water doesn't get into it. Comes out of the riprap that DOT had put up there in the water, and then I get calls all hours of the night from the sheriff's department saying cars are going off the road. And I guess we've been after DOT. I called them last year, nothing got done. I guess they called them before I got here, and nothing gotten done. So I called. I got a hold of somebody that's a little more authority this time, and we're going to meet out there. We've talked about it, what he's going to do about milling it down. I said, because if need be, I mean, we'll have to go down there and mill it the pavement's higher than the ground around it, so the water just won't go uphill and get into it, so. He says, well, they should have built it right when they put it in the first time, but, so either they gotta mill down the pavement, or we gotta take the cover off and lower the bricks and put it back in.
So where's this at?
On 136, coming from Auburn, back on the right-hand side.
Okay.
Right along the river.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
You got the river on one side, and it's right there on the bank with some riprap that comes down, the water
Oh, yeah,
bleeds all out of there, and then it freezes, and then, so the roads could be all bare, and then I gotta get somebody in there for that one little spot, so I told them we need to have it fixed this year. So they're gonna do something. We finished the base layer of pavement on Brown Road, so you have some happy taxpayers over there. They can actually get through without staving their car all up for first time in many years. Still working on the grants, smart stream crossing that's due in January. We got the ads published for the truck driver labor position last Thursday. And I do have an application that I would like to discuss with you guys at some point later in the night. And
There's another one in your box, too.
what's that?
There's another one in your
Oh, there
box.
is, okay.
Will we also be hiring for part-time plow drivers?
That's in there too, both ads are in there.
So, but we just haven't had much luck getting part-time plow drivers for whatever reason. So, and so that's all I've got. So, are we coming back later to discuss?
So we will, yeah.
Yep.
All right. So that's all that you have, you said, and anything, any questions? Okay. Administrator?
Yep.
No, I think I'm good. Oh, I know what I was gonna, I thought of something. The hosting that we pay now is $350.
Okay.
So I don't know enough to know if we could split the hosting out and get somebody else to host us, or if we really kind of need to go with their hosting.
I don't know either. I mean, that would be,
A Shannon question.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Selectmen's comments, upcoming meetings held here at the town office. Tuesday, November 29th at 6:30 PM. Tuesday, December 13th at 6:30 PM. Town office will be closed. It's both Thursday and Friday next week.
Yes, sorry.
For the Thanksgiving holiday. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out order here.
Can I go first?
That's what I was thinking we could do 13 first, because you've got a few more reviews,
Yeah, it'd be really quick.
and then 14, and then we can come back to Public Works after that. So I move that we go into executive session pursuant